Usually, if you want to go for a Wraith portal kidnap, you need some kind of height so the portal entrance is high enough that the enemy can't just walk back through it. But with Void Jumper, Wraith can now make the portal high enough even on flat ground if you are quick enough. And that is just one of the many broken interactions added in Apex Season 28 Split 2. So in this video, I'm going through the best tips, tricks, and hidden interactions for Wraith, Gibraltar, Wattson, and even the new Elite Hemlok, so you can start winning way more fights. Let's start with Wraith. With Phase Dome, if Wraith has started the portal but hasn't placed the exit yet, anyone can stay inside the void the entire time and you can go in or out how many times you want. That makes it insanely good for escaping chaotic fights, resetting, or just buying time so your team doesn't get instantly melted. Another important interaction is that Phase Dome can affect players through walls and doors, which makes it even stronger in messy indoor fights. But one thing to keep in mind, you still can't use this through walls to kidnap enemies. For Void Jumper, it makes Wraith's tactical last 6 seconds and the double jump has a 3-second cooldown, and that double jump is useful for way more than just flashy movements. For example, you can use it to cancel full stun, which helps you keep your momentum during tactical. It also lets you get over obstacles much faster because instead of climbing and losing speed, you can just leap over them while moving. And most importantly, if you are fast enough, you can now create a kidnap portal without needing height or objects nearby. That is a massive deal because it means enemies have way less safe space than before. Also, since Wraith's ultimate's cooldown starts as soon as you place the portal, you technically only need around 45 more seconds after the portal disappears before you can place another one. That makes her portal way more viable for aggressive team push instead of always saving it for the perfect moment. So if you're playing Wraith this split, don't just think of Void Jumper as mobility, think of it as a way to force portal plays at anywhere. Next up is Gibraltar. His Thunderdome actually has a 1-second delay after the dome is deployed before it starts electrifying, so don't assume it instantly punishes someone the moment the bubble appears. But once it does activate, it will stun the first enemy's movement and aim, which makes it much harder for them to fight back or reposition clearly. One small detail here is Mirage decoys can pass through the dome when it's electrified, so that can help you tell who's real and who isn't. Now for Healing Dome, the double healing effect only cares wherever you are inside the dome at the end of the heal timer, so you can actually start healing outside, then slide into the dome before the heal finishes and still get the boosted healing, making this upgrade way better in practice than it sounds on paper. For triple bombardment, the smaller radius is actually above in a lot of situations. Because the area is smaller, the missile got more condensed, which makes it much easier to actually hit, crack, or even down enemies. So instead of thinking it as a weaker ult with smaller radius, think of it as a more flexible and more lethal ult that just requires better placement. And lastly, for momentum boost, the passive activates after staying at sprint speed for about 3 seconds, but the timer resets instantly if you interrupt that movement even for a moment. So things like climbing small edges or overdoing a tap stray can completely kill the passive build-up. If you want consistent value, you need to keep your movement smooth instead of constantly breaking your sprint chain. For Wattson, her fence now does more damage and takes less time to deploy, which makes them much easier to throw down mid-fight when you need to punish a chase or clutching up in a team fight. One huge interaction is with Heartlight. Every controller legend can only reinforce up to 4 Heartlight structure, but Wattson's fence can reinforce as much as you want. This gives her way more area control than other legends in certain setups. Her pylon also automatically rebuilds and reinforces broken Heartlights within its radius, which can make defensive holds extremely annoying to break. But there's a downside. This effect can go through walls and floors, so if an enemy team is in the same building, you may accidentally help them too. Also, both fence and pylon do not automatically repair Heartlight after the first deployment, so enemies can still coordinate a push by weakening Heartlight beforehand, which means you need to stay observant if you are holding a large area. And finally, about the elite Hemlok, if you're using explosive shot, it can help Fuse recharge his ultimate faster after taking the reignition upgrade, which gives the weapon some extra synergy on top of its raw damage value. Damage wise, explosive shot also has limb damage. Its splash damage can only goes up to 29 damage, but if you hit the player directly in the upper body, it does the full 38 damage, but the real value lies against utility. It does up to 2000 damage to Hardlight and 300 damage against deployables, so it absolutely destroys setup heavy teams. There is also a very important interaction against rampart walls. If the explosive shots lands on the amp shield, it will damage both the shield and the wall. But if the shot lands on the cover wall itself, the amp shield won't take any damage. So if you're trying to break rampart setup efficiently, your shot placement matters a lot. So these are some of the best hidden interaction and tricks you should be abusing in Season 28 Split 2. Personally, the flat ground Wraith Kidnap Portal is probably the most ridiculous one, but let me know in the comments which one you think is the most broken. And if you want more Apex guides, update breakdowns, and useful tech like these, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.